I was married just short of 10 years and I was 20 years old. Marriage was not what I expected it to be. What it was really like was two separate people living under one roof. You know, I had my way of thinking and doing things, and he had his way of thinking and doing things. And that was based off of how we grew up in our households. You know, in my family, you know, husband and wife did everything together. For instance, my mom and dad, you know, went out to eat together. You know, they went on vacations together. They spent a lot of time together. But on the other side, for my husband, his parents lived separate lives. His father would go out to hang out with his friends and go to parties, and his mom stayed home to watch the kids, or she went out on her own for a few days. It wasn't something that I was used to. So when we got married and he brought his life to the table and I brought my life to the table, it was a lot of friction going on. Very different from when we were dating and it was fun. You know, once I got married, I wanted it to be the way I saw, you know, growing up. So yeah, there was times where he would go out 10 o'clock and not come back until 6 o'clock in the morning, and I wasn't used to that life. I thought that once you got married, the party and the club life was over. So, and it was just a lot of unspoken expectations that we both brought to the table because we had never talked about expectations. So life was challenging, life was difficult.
I was very shocked, but at the same time it was kind of like, oh, okay, I guess they're married. I wasn't expecting it to be as quickly as they did, since they just met. So I wasn't really expecting it to be as quickly of a marriage that it was. I kind of expected them to date a little longer.
It was very surprising because throughout growing up, throughout high school, she said she's never getting married. She's doing all this other stuff before she does. But I can understand that because she was so in love and that he was moving to Germany. So the only way that she could move with him and still be with him was to get married. So I think that's kind of why she jumped into it so quick. But that was completely surprising for me.
My expectations were, you know, for instance, the man takes out the garbage. I thought that. So, you know, to ask him to take out the garbage, you know, turned into meaningless fights sometimes because he thought that I should be taking it out because in his family that's what women did. It was, you know, okay for him to go out. That wasn't an expectation of mine. For me, again, it was the man's a provider. The man makes more money. The man takes care of, you know, the finances. You know, I knew that I wanted to, you know, have a hand in on paying the bills and knowing where the money's going and the saving and the investing. I was used to the man initiating quality time. My expectation was that we would do things together, like traveling, and that we would save money together so we can do things, because at the time we didn't have kids, so we were free to really do a lot of things. I felt that, you know, would be on the same path to wanting a house because I grew up in the house. So my expectation was that we were going to get a house and we can save to buy anything we want in the house and travel. And those were my expectations.
I was surprised that they last as long as they did. That alone in itself was a shock for how long they were together for. But once things kind of started going downhill, I wasn't expecting them to last.
That was really upsetting. But I knew she was strong, and I knew she was going to get her feet on the ground, and she's been doing amazing.
Now I want to work on myself. I don't believe being so young getting married that I came into the marriage as a whole person, like knowing who I am, where I want to be, how much money I want to make, how I want to raise my children. I realized that you have to be a whole person, centered in God. You have to be ready to have a relationship with God before you can have a relationship with anyone, and that has been what I've learned this entire almost 10 years of quickly dating, being married, being separated, getting divorced, having kids, and I've learned to find things that make me happy, because it's okay to be happy when you're married without kids, when you're married with kids.
She's doing amazing. I can't, kids nowadays, they're spoiled, they're entitled. Her kids, please, thank you, excuse me, they're little adults. They're great. They're so respectful. They say the right things. They don't try to jump all over the place.
It's just taking time to get to know me. At 20 years old, you don't know yourself, and if you don't know yourself, you can't know another person to be a husband, to be a wife.
I think Lauren's doing a fantastic job as a mom, putting them in activities, dance, karate, whatever. She's doing her best. She's trying her best. She's only one person, but I think Lauren's doing a great job as a mom.